Morning everyone, welcome. We're back at the lake. We went home for a couple of days and visited with the grandkids and had a great time. We crammed a lot of stuff into 3 days that we were down there. Got to visit with my mom, got to visit with all the grandkids. It's just a great time. We got to pack up some more things to bring up to the lake. We ended up bringing up a whole truckload of stuff. And last night I spent the night just unpacking things that we brought up. We are slowly making a move up here to the lake. We're going to be living here full time really soon. Not sure of a date yet, but we're pretty much here. We're pretty much living here. We still have the house down there. We haven't let go 100% yet, but every time we come up, we just bring loads of stuff with us. And that way, when it is time to move, we just have a few things left and it's not going to be overwhelming. So anyways, I don't know how I got off on all that. I'm down here at the lake this morning. Sapphira, I'll show you her in a minute. She's just in the lake having a time. I'm having my coffee. I'm going to be showing you what I eat and drink today throughout the day, and I'm going to sit myself in the face. It's only like 8:30 in the morning. Ed's at physical therapy. We don't usually eat till around 11, 12 o'clock, somewhere around there. We like to wait till we're nice and hungry before we eat our first meal. So I'm going to show you how I make bone broth in the Instant Pot. I'm going to do that as soon as we go in. Also, I want to talk about something that I'm going to be doing Monday over in my Patreon group. We are going to be doing a month of carnivore in September. It's officially going to start in September over there. Everybody's version of carnivore is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be starting a little bit early. I don't know, I like to do that. I like to get into a rhythm before the challenge actually starts. The way I'm going to kick it off is I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to do an egg fast. I'm going to do it for 3 days, maybe 5 days, we'll see, but I have a plan to do it for 3 days. I'm going to be doing it over in the Patreon group, and others are going to be doing it with me. I have so many different egg recipes. You don't have to just do like scrambled eggs, fried eggs, boiled eggs. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this egg fast to keep it interesting so that you don't get sick of eggs. So I'm going to start it off with a 3 or 5 day egg fast, and then I am going to go right into carnivore from there. So I'm going to be doing carnivore with dairy. I do fine with dairy, so I will be including cheese and some heavy cream in my carnivore challenge, but some people can't do dairy. So if you can't do dairy, you can completely do dairy free, which is even better if you want to do that. So if you want to do the egg fast with us and you want to be interactive with it, you can go over to Patreon and join. I have a free trial over there, 7-day trial where you can try it out. Link is down below in the description under this video. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit and finish my coffee and let this little girl run around and get her energy out. And then I'm going to get into the house and make some bone broth. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. What you doing? Huh? Fishing? You can see how she cleans a path all the way down from the leaves and organic matter here in the lake. She will clean this path and she's our little beach cleaner, we call her. Come here. What you doing? Get fishy. Little head bobbing along. She only goes so deep. Same path. She knows I'm videoing her. Yeah, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. So funny. I'm not here to sit in the sunshine just for a few minutes to warm up. I'm freezing. I don't know why I'm so cold today. I'm also hydrating with some electrolytes. This is the Element Sparkling Grapefruit. So my last few videos, I've been showing the sparkling because we really like it. And I think that it's really good for summertime and it's convenient. I've had a few people ask me if we've stopped drinking the drink mixes that come in these little convenient packs like this one. shadowy here. We have not stopped using these. In fact, yesterday I had an orange salt packet, but I wanted to tell you a little story real quick about my nephew. So last weekend, my nephew brought up his 3 kids and his wife for the weekend, and we had a great time. My nephew has been doing keto off and on for some time, but he was off track for a while. Life just happens, and he just got off track. He knew he was going to be coming up here and eating keto foods, so he thought he would go ahead and get back on track a couple of days before he came up here. So when they got here, he had only been back on keto for a couple, 2-3 days. So we all went out for a ride on the boat, and I just started noticing he didn't act like he was feeling so great. He would have his eyes shut and just like sitting back. And at first I thought, is he just relaxing or is he just not feeling well? And then his wife told me he wasn't feeling well. He needed to go lay down. He had a headache and he was just feeling extremely tired. I immediately went to the refrigerator, pulled out a can of the sparkling Element, told her, take it upstairs to him and have him drink it. Then a half an hour to an hour, he came downstairs feeling much better, said his headache was gone. He was just feeling better overall. And he said my electrolytes must have been low. So he ended up having me send them my link so he can place an order so he'll have his electrolytes. It is so important when you're on a low carb diet to replace your electrolytes because you shed water when you're on a low carb diet. Element is perfect for a keto diet because they are very clean in ingredient. They are sweetened with stevia, and they have a science-backed ratio of sodium, magnesium, and potassium. I literally saw in action within an hour someone with keto flu symptoms feeling so much better within an hour. Right now, Element has an offer for my viewers. If you go to the link that is right here on the screen at drinkelement.com/low carb revelation, the link will be below this video in the description right at the top. Click on the link. You'll go over to Element's website, make a purchase of anything on the website. You can purchase the sparkling or you can purchase the drink mixes, and Element will send you a free sample pack like this one with 8 different flavors so that you can try a lot of different flavors, and they're all really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get inside, get ready to make my bone broth. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring this video. So I'm getting ready to make my bone broth. I'm gonna be making a large batch of bone broth today. I have 2 Instant Pots out here on the counter. The way I make it, it just makes it a little more flavorful in my opinion, is I like to roast the bones first in the oven. These bones are really large. You can see here, my butcher leaves a lot of the meat on the bones when we get our cow. So there will be meat left over. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that later on too. But I start by roasting it in the oven because I feel like it gives it a more flavorful taste. You don't have to roast them. You can just throw them right in the Instant Pot with water and do it that way, but I like roasting them. So I have my oven preheated right now to 425 degrees. All I'm gonna put on these today is some salt. I'm just gonna be using Redmond's real salt. You can season these however you like. Sometimes I'll put garlic on there or some rosemary or some thyme or something like that in with the water to give it flavor. If you wanna add vegetables to your broth, you can do that too. You can do onions, celery, whatever you want. I'm just gonna be doing salt. So I'm gonna generously salt these bones. These actually are still kind of frozen. So I'm actually gonna roast them for about 30 minutes today just because they're kind of frozen. Normally I would do about 20 minutes. So they're just gonna get a little extra time today to help with the frozenness. I'm gonna get these in the oven and I'll be back in about a half an hour. So I'm getting ready to make some coffee that I can have with my breakfast. I've already had my black coffee this morning, but now I'm gonna have my yummy coffee. I am gonna have some Nespresso. This is Malazio, this little pod right here. This is my favorite flavor so far that I've tried from Nespresso. And so I'm gonna make that, but I wanna show you my new little coffee bar addition. We have this Barnwood coffee bar that we love here under this stairway nook, and I did a whole video on this. Love it a lot. I just love adding new things to the coffee bar. So when Amzchef
contacted me and wanted to send me this little frother. I already had a frother that I really like, but I said, sure, go ahead and send it to me and I'll check it out. I love the design of it. I think it looks really cool with the wooden handle. It has a stainless pitcher here that you put your milk in to froth. It's actually nice and deep. So if you want to make a lot of froth, if you're having like several people having it, or there's an option on here to mix up hot chocolate, which is really cool. So I really like it, and I just wanted to show you how I'm going to use it real quick. So I like to use either whole milk or heavy cream, and I don't have any whole milk right now, so I'm just going to be using this. I'm going to pour it to the minimum line down here because I don't need a whole lot. Get that out of the way so I don't knock it over. Put the lid on, and I want to show you the little options here. It's really cool. You just hit the little button here. Little logo comes up, then you hit it again. That's the little sign for dense milk. And then the next one is, I have to flip the page here. That one is dairy-based baby food. The next one is soy milk froth. And then this one with the little C is for cashew milk, nut milk. Then there's the cold froth. If you want to have iced coffee with some cold froth on top, it's got a little snowflake there. And then the one with the bar is for chocolate. You can actually mix up hot chocolate in this. And then the next one is hot milk, if you just want steamed milk. We have airy froth, and then we have dense froth. I prefer the airy froth, so I'm gonna put it back on that one. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit start, and you'll see there it's moving along as it's doing its job. And at this time, see there, the little whisk inside, I'm gonna go ahead and start my coffee. This automatically stops when it gets to the point that you need it to get to. So it's heating the milk and it is frothing it. Another thing I like about this is this little pot that comes out, the pitcher, is very easy to clean. You just take the little thing out and you take it to your sink, wash it out, take the little whisk out, just clean it all up, and it's stainless steel, which is really nice. I like the Nespresso because it makes a frothy coffee as it is. It's all about the spinning action inside of here. It spins it really fast and it causes it to have a froth already on top. And it's delicious. It's very decadent to have that foam on top. Steamer's still going over here. You can see the little coffee cup moving along. All right, this made a little chime noise and it went back to the logo, so that means that it is done. I'm gonna open it up here and you can see this is a very airy foam. You can see the steam coming out of there. That's really awesome. It was cold from the refrigerator when I pulled it out. My coffee is done here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this in. And I've got this nice, light, airy, heavy cream that has been steamed hot and ready to go. I'm gonna go over here and we are gonna have some breakfast. I'll show you what we're having in just a minute. Try it out. That's delicious. So good. All right, so I have some pork belly here that I chopped up into some chunks. I'm gonna try something different today. Never tried it before. I'm gonna let you know how it is. So I season this with the organic seasoned salt from Redmond's Real Salt. Really like this on the pork belly. Tastes delicious. I have over here my Fry Daddy. This is actually the Grandpappy. This has some beef tallow in it. So I'm gonna put these in the deep fryer and I'm gonna deep fry them in beef tallow and see how they turn out. And I'm gonna let you know. We're also gonna get some eggs scrambled up. I got some cheddar cheese laid out over here to put in the eggs. And this is probably really gonna go like crazy. So, all right, I'll be back and let you know how it turns out. All right, these are nice and golden brown. I'm gonna pull them out here. Looks good. Ed's whisking up some eggs over here. gonna take some salt, Maldon salt, and just sprinkle it on top. All right, I'll let you know how it is. Looks real good. Well, let's try it.
I already tried a piece of this and it's delicious. It is a little more crispy in the air fryer. So I'm not sure if I just need to leave these in longer in the oil. I like them crispy. The air fryer gives them a really crispy texture, and then they're kind of chewy on the inside. So this is definitely a little more chewy. Tastes great with the beef tallow. Really good. I definitely like the air fryer texture better, but the taste is amazing. Go ahead and eat. I got 3 scrambled eggs here with some cheddar cheese. My delicious cappuccino. Bones are done roasting in the oven. I'm gonna pull them out after I eat and get them in the Instant Pot. When I do that, I'll be back to show you the next step. So these have been roasting in the oven for a little over 30 minutes because they were actually done when we had breakfast. So I turned off the oven and just left them in there. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these in my Instant Pot. I'm gonna just pour all this good juice that came from the bones because it is extra flavor. Already making some broth on there. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill these with water up into the fill line. I'm also gonna add some apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoon or so to each one. The apple cider vinegar helps to get more marrow out of the bones. I'm gonna fill these with water. I'm gonna put them in the Instant Pot and I'm gonna set them for 2 hours on high pressure. Let them cook. It will take a while for it to come to pressure. And then after 2 hours, they will shut off and I'm gonna let them slow release. I won't release the steam. I'll let it just do it on its own. When that time comes, I'm going to show you the next step.
Real quick check-in. I got all kinds of stuff going on right now. I actually had 2 pounds of ground beef in the refrigerator, so I decided to make a meatloaf for dinner. We put bacon on top. But today I just wanted to do a little bit different. I wanted to put some Rayo's on top instead of bacon. And I have some Parmesan cheese here that I just want to sprinkle on top of that. And this is going to go back in the oven. It's actually been baking for about an hour. And I just pulled it out and I'm gonna put this back in the oven and let it finish baking for probably another 15 minutes and then this is gonna be done. This is what's for dinner tonight, so just wanted to check in with that. Also, I'm getting ready to mix up a chocolate shake. I have some macadamia nut milk in here with some ice and some chocolate Equip protein powder. I'm gonna make a shake. All I do is blend it up in my blender. That's what I'm gonna be having until dinner time. I'm not sure when we're gonna eat dinner. Ed's out doing some stuff in the garage, so it is actually 4 o'clock right now. Probably another hour, hour and a half, we'll have dinner. So I also wanted to update on my bone broth. So this Instant Pot right here, I've been having huge issues today with the seal. It was not sealing all day long. I would unplug it and restart it. I put a new seal in this thing. I did all kinds of stuff and this was not sealing. So this one is all done and it turned out awesome. Look at that. I have to strain this after it cools. And this one, I'm gonna have to try to put it in this pot, I guess, because I've had all kinds of issues today. Look at that beautiful broth. All right, so all I did was I took tongs and I pulled out the beef and the bones. I'm gonna let this cool a little longer. And then I'm just gonna take this beef and just cut it up and shred it up into chunks. It really just pulls apart, it's very tender. And I'm gonna put that into a container that is airtight. And I'm gonna store it either in the refrigerator or the freezer, depending on when I wanna use it. I can throw that, like I said, in chili or soup, or you can throw this in your tacos when you're making steak tacos, season it with some taco seasoning. It's great. So I am gonna let this go into the refrigerator just like this and let it gel up. And then when it gets gelatinous, I'll show you what I'm gonna do to store it. Normally, I either pour it into big mason jars with lids and store it either in the refrigerator if I'm gonna use it like right away, but I have another way of storing it if I want to freeze it. And that's the way I wanna show you today how I'm gonna do that. But this has to cool off and get gelatinous, and when that happens, I'll be back to show you how I'm gonna store it.
So I've been in this kitchen all day long, making the bone broth, making my meatloaf, vacuum sealing some different food items that I had in the refrigerator, organizing my cabinets, just one of those days in the kitchen. So I picked apart the meat. That's a good amount of meat. Kind of shredded it up. I'm just gonna put this lid on it. It's a airtight container. And I'm just gonna stick this in the fridge. We also can use this meat to make omelets with. There's just a lot of different things you can do with it. A lot of times when you buy bones in the store for bone broth, they don't have the meat on them like that. And you can just roast the bones like this, you know, and they don't have a lot of meat on them. But this butcher, he leaves a lot of meat on them for like soup bones in case you want to cook them down in soup or whatever. And I think it's great. So anyways, I'm going to clean up here. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you what our dinner looks like tonight. So we're getting ready to eat right now. I have a Caesar salad right here that I'm gonna dress for Ed. I did my little oil and salt and garlic trick in the bowl. Put the romaine lettuce in here. All I have to do is, right before we serve it, throw some of the dressing on there, my Caesar dressing, and mix it all up, and that'll be done. And then I have my meatloaf, and then I'm gonna make some of these. These are from Aldi. They are cheese fries. I don't know if you've ever tried these. Let me turn around. These are made like out of halloumi cheese, and that's all they are. And you just make them in the air fryer and crisp them up. So I'm gonna put this whole bag in the air fryer, crisp these up. And I'm probably gonna pass on the salad tonight and just have some of these fries with my meatloaf. So I'll be back when we have it all done. All right, so meatloaf, cheese fries. Let me show them your plate. Ed's having Caesar salad, meatloaf.
And cheese fries.
Cheese fries. That's what's for dinner. So all I did was take my meatloaf recipe, and instead of bacon on top, I put some sauce and some Parmesan cheese, and it looks great. So I'll be back later once my broth gels up, and I'll show you how I'm going to store it. All right, see you soon. This has cooled down considerably. It is really starting to thicken up. It is not gelatinous yet. It will be by tomorrow, but I don't want to wait that long. I want to go ahead and show you in this video, and then that way I can just wrap up the video. Fix this so it doesn't fall in. I have some silicone molds here. I have them on a baking sheet. That's very important. The silicone molds are very flimsy, and if you put liquids in these, they are gonna like spill out. So I put them on a baking sheet, and I also make sure that I have room in my freezer. These are gonna go outside in my big deep freezer. I have two different sizes here. I have a jumbo size, and I have like a regular muffin size. I'm gonna go ahead and fill these with the broth. I'm gonna take this tray outside, put it in my freezer. I'm gonna let them freeze overnight. Then I'm gonna pull them out of the freezer. This won't be in the video because I'm gonna go ahead and in the video today, but you can visualize it. It's pretty basic. You just take them out of the freezer the next day when they're frozen solid, and you just pop them out of your molds and then throw them in a large freezer Ziploc bag. And then you have multiple portions of bone broth. If you want to have a mug of bone broth, let's say you're sick, you have a cold, you don't want to make any broth. You've got some in your freezer. You can just pull a cube of it out, thaw it out, put it in a mug, warm it up in the microwave, add a little salt if you want, and you have a delicious broth. It's a very convenient way to store individual portion sizes of broth if you have the freezer space. So I'm gonna get these filled. I also have some more of these molds. I've got them over there ready to go. Fill them up, You don't want to fill them all the way to the top. You want to leave about an inch or so of space because when things get cold, they expand. So you want to make sure that you give a little room for expansion. You can also take 4 or 5 of them out of a bag, throw them in your soups, your chili, however you want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these. It has been a long day. This video is long. You get the idea of what I'm doing here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, all the different things that was going on. It was a full day in the kitchen. I want to sit down and prop up my feet and grab a nice big tall sparkling water and just rest. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It really brings us up in the algorithm, and I will see you really soon. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.